Ugh, this is one of those stories you wish you never heard. I'm Mel Z. I talk about death, true crime, and weird pop culture stuff. So if you're a weirdo too, follow me. Tim McLean was 22 years old. He was vibrant, adventurous, and expecting a baby with his girlfriend. On July 30th, 2008, he boarded Greyhound bus 1170. At a stop in Erickson, Manitoba, Vince Lee got on the bus. Eventually, he moved to the back and sat next to Tim McLean, who was now sleeping against the window. Suddenly, unprovoked, Lee produced a large knife and began stabbing Tim. Passengers stood up, screaming. The bus driver pulled over. At one point, Tim McLean was decapitated, and Vince Lee held up his head to the witnesses outside of the bus. By this point, a truck driver had pulled up and was offering help. He moved the passengers to the back of the bus so they could no longer see what was happening. RCMP then engaged in a standoff with Lee, but eventually he was tasered and taken down. Tim McLean's body was horribly mutilated, and it was assumed that Vince Lee had not only cut pieces of him off, but had also consumed some of those pieces as well. Lee was found not criminally responsible, which in Canada is basically the insanity defense, and this was due to his untreated schizophrenia. He said he believed he was acting on orders from God to kill Tim McLean. Lee was then remanded to a high-security mental health facility. Over the years, he was granted increasing freedoms, including supervised and then unsupervised outings. In 2015, he was moved to a group home, but by 2017, he was granted an absolute discharge. He changed his name to Will Baker and now lives somewhere in Canada. The aftermath of this attack left deep scars, not just for the family of the victim, but for the other bus passengers as well, and the first responders. Tim's family, particularly his mother, has campaigned for changes in the law that allowed the not criminally responsible defense, which she argues harms families of victims. She said they've suffered unimaginable pain and trauma from this event, which can you even imagine? What do you think of this case? It is a stark reminder of the complexities of mental health and the justice system, and begs the question, can we balance compassion for mental health struggles with accountability? How can we better support victims and their families when absolutely unimaginable tragedies like this happen?